Hello, everyone. James and Edward 532. No, it's James and Eddie. So, I'm back. I've been gone again for a week. It's because I've, again, been rather busy. July seems to keep June's pattern rolling, and I am still being bombarded with stuff I want to do, hanging out with friends and all that. But, I am back today. I know I didn't upload Wednesday or anything, and I apologize. So this kind of serves as 2 in 1, like Ducks did, but not quite. Yeah. Donald and Douglas. Now, Donald and Douglas don't arrive after Duck in my AU, nor does Duck arrive after Toby, and Percy does not arrive after James. However, I've just been showing them off in numbered order at the moment, like official show order, just because, well, there's not a better way to do it at the moment, because, you see, the only engines who have numbers are Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, and James. That's it. Those are the only engines who have numbers at the moment, unless they're, like, BR numbers, like, or not BR, Great Western numbers, like Duck, he has 5741. Yeah. Everybody else doesn't have a number. They're just kind of, marked with the NW. I mean, there's definitely spots for numbers on everyone, but they're just not really there. So, anyway, Donald and Douglas here. Hello. Sorry, this is kind of weird, just because you can see they're in 2 different liveries. And this isn't like they both chose different livery ideas, things. No, this is like there's solid reasons behind that. I'll start with Donald here. No, I'll start with Douglas. Just stay there, please. Thank you. Don't focus on that, focus on Douglas. Here's Douglas. He's made out of the original duplicate body shells I made for them. The old Railway series, Donald and Douglas, technically. Really, dude? Yeah. Yeah, I just repainted those, because I like those, and my real Donald and Douglas are doing something else at the moment. Yeah, so this is Douglas. I painted him up in the same Rust-Oleum Oasis blue as everybody else has. Same lining. I used Posca light red, or this thing, or it looks dark, here, this way, this thing, for the base, and then I went over it with dark red for the top, and that's how I get the color, just because I don't want, like, painting the lining on with, like, brush paints, because it's actually really painful. Yeah. I gave him the white buffers like everybody else. He has the same brake pipe and hook details. His eye is a little wonky there. Yeah. Gold whistle safety valve things, the gold window frames, and W on the tender buffers, white buffers. Yeah. He has black wheels. A few of the newer, I don't want to say newer engines, but like engines that arrive later do have black wheels, just because I think the Northwestern would change their livery a little bit eventually. Anybody who arrives in like the 46 onwards has black wheels. Just because that doesn't look as bad. Like, it's not as much of a pain to paint as blue wheels. Also, I just like the idea of the engines having all unified black wheels except for, like, this group that came before. Yeah. So, that's Douglas. Oh, I gave him a little builder's plate right there. His nameplate, which I want to print out. Douglas nameplate properly and then glue it on there, but printers being pain in the ass again, so yeah, that's Douglas. just push him off here. Here's Donald. Donald doesn't have as weird as a face. You may notice him and Douglas have different eyebrows. Like, Donald has these little things in front pointing up, while Douglas has them pointing down. Yeah. I tried to give them both smiling, but two, like, different expressions. Because I think Donald would generally be more jovial than Douglas, who would be more, like, what's the word? Cynical? Or serious? I don't know. But Douglas would generally have a more serious tone to him than Donald. And Donald is painted in BR black. I lined him out and everything, gave him the logo and the tender. This is going to kill a lot of you, I know it. But I think it needs to be shared. So, in my AU, Douglas only survives. Donald does not survive. At first. We don't think... No. Donald does not survive. No. I'm putting this foot down right here. Official, Donald does not survive. He does not exist. Okay. My AU, Donald and Douglas both built same year for the Caledonian Railway with the second batch of 812s built in 1919. They were both built. They worked on the Caledonian till LMS days, then BR days, they worked. Now, you see, Douglas was scheduled to be scrapped. She was scheduled to be scrapped sometime in the 50s. And then he managed to escape the day before his execution. Donald, because at the time both of them would have been painted in BR black, Donald was in the yard at the time collecting a train, but it had flatbeds of engines on it, but they mistook Donald for Douglas, and they cut up Donald. And Douglas managed to escape to Sodor. Now, he stayed in Vickerstown Yard for a solid few months, hidden away by a character you guys are going to see later on, who was the Vickerstown pilot. But then, eventually he was found out by the Fat Controller, and he was bought officially from BR to work on the Northwestern Railway as a goods engine. Yeah, Donald does not make it past the 50s. Yeah. I know, it's a shame, but I just like the idea of Douglas having, like, this brother he once had. Now, that's one version of it. There's also another idea that I came up with that I might use, I don't know. I know I said I was putting my foot down just a moment ago, but everything's still very malleable. I can change my mind whenever I want because I'm the creator. I'm the one talking, therefore I am the only one who can make decisions. So, I don't know. There's another version I've come up with where Donald and Douglas weren't that close on BR, LMS, whatever. They weren't that close throughout their pre-Sodorhood. And then, same thing happens. Douglas leaves for Sodor. Donald supposedly dies. But then, like, years later, like, Douglas would come back to the Caledonian, you know, wherever 828 is at the moment. I forget the name, but wherever the 828 is, Douglas would eventually be sold to that railway much later, like 2020s. And then he would find Donald there as well. Or maybe Donald would be repainted in the 828 livery. You know, he's not 828, but he was given the number 828 just because preservationists like to give numbers to engines who aren't their numbers. Anyway, so that's Donald and Douglas. Yeah, it's more of an explanation of AU than it is a explanation of customs, but I think it is sometimes good to have those kind of episodes, because if I just talk about customs all the time, where you guys gonna get your story from, right? Yeah, so that's been Donald and Douglas. At the moment, there aren't any major updates. Season 1 of whatever my series is going to be called has begun being written, or wrote, whatever. Begun being produced in some fashion. And let's just say it's not like anything you've seen from me or maybe anyone else beforehand. So, this has been Donald and Douglas, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.